Fresh Mart Supermarket, suburban Boston, Friday evening rush hour. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead, casting their cold glow across crowded aisles filled with the chaos of weekend shoppers. Carts collided. Children whined for candy. The intercom crackled with announcements about sales on ground beef and two-for-one laundry detergent. And in the wine section, a woman in a crimson business dress stood trembling, a utility knife pressed against her ribs through the expensive fabric. Two men flanked her, one tall with dead eyes, the other shorter with military precision in his movements. "Please," her voice cracked, barely above a whisper. Her eyes, designer mascara now smudged with tears, scanned the faces of shoppers passing by. "Someone help me." No one stopped. A woman with a cart full of groceries actually laughed. "Looks like the rich lady's having problems. Maybe if she wasn't so high and mighty, someone might actually care." Another shopper recognized her from the news. "That's the Ashford CEO, always talking about cutting costs and laying people off." The woman in red, Vivian Ashford, 34 years old, CEO of Ashford Medical Technologies, felt something inside her shatter. Not from the knife, from the realization that in her moment of greatest need, the world saw her exactly as she had seen others: invisible, unworthy. Then a calm male voice cut through the noise like a blade through silk. "You just picked the wrong father and daughter to threaten, gentlemen." Every conversation stopped. Every shopper turned. 43 seconds earlier, Callum Mercer pushed his shopping cart through the crowded aisles with the practiced invisibility of a man who had learned to move through the world without being noticed. 35 years old, faded Port Authority polo shirt, shoulders slightly hunched, the posture of someone accustomed to stepping aside, to making himself smaller. His daughter Wren sat in the cart, small legs swinging, clutching a piece of paper covered in blue crayon. "Milk, bread, small bear." The words "small bear" were underlined 3 times, her reward for straight A's. "Daddy, why do people never say excuse me to you?" Wren asked, watching another shopper push past without acknowledgement. Callum smiled sadly. "Some people just don't see everyone, sweetheart." "That's dumb. You're the best person to see." His hand moved to touch the red yarn bracelet on his wrist. Handmade, slightly frayed from 2 years of constant wear. The memory came unbidden. Rain falling on a funeral home. The smell of lilies and grief. His wife Sarah in a closed casket because the car accident had been too devastating. Callum had excused himself to the hallway. The panic attack hit without warning. His chest constricted. His lungs refused to fill. Then small hands found his. A small voice, impossibly calm for a 6-year-old who had just lost her mother. "Feel my breathing, Daddy? Slow like mine." Wren had placed his palm against her tiny chest, letting him feel the steady rhythm of her heartbeat, anchoring him to life. The next morning she presented him with a bracelet made of red yarn. "Red is for courage and love. When you get scared, touch the red string and remember, you're never alone. I made it so you'll always have me with you." Callum touched the bracelet now, drawing strength from its texture. His phone buzzed, a text from his night security supervisor. "Blake Industries event next week. Extra security needed. Triple pay." He frowned. Blake Industries. The name tugged at something in his memory. "Daddy, look." Wren pointed toward the wine section. A woman in a crimson business dress stood alone, examining bottles with practiced arrogance. Designer heels. Perfect posture. But Callum's training saw past the surface. Years of security work at Port Authority had taught him to read body language. This woman was not okay. Tense shoulders, clenched jaw, hands that trembled slightly. The body language of someone carrying a weight too heavy to bear alone. Then she turned one and Callum recognized her. Vivian Ashford, CEO of Ashford Medical Technologies. 6 months earlier, Ashford Medical Headquarters. Callum had been doing contract IT work, crawling under desks while executives stepped around him like furniture. His equipment cart had accidentally bumped Vivian's desk. She hadn't looked up. Be careful. You damage something expensive, you'll be paying it off forever. Later, walking past her office, he heard her speaking to her assistant. Why is its support always so slow? It's like they're deliberately invisible. The words had cut deep. Maybe because he already felt invisible. Maybe because Sarah had always made him feel seen, and without her, he wondered if he existed at all. Now in the wine aisle, Vivian's eyes met his. Recognition flickered. Something shifted in her expression. Not apology, but acknowledgement. Then the CEO mask slammed back into place. Daddy, that lady looks sad, Ren said softly. Like she's pretending to be okay, but she's not. How can you tell? Ren's blue eyes, Sarah's eyes, met his. Because that's how you looked before you learned to breathe again. Before Callum could respond, his training kicked into high alert. Two men, mid-30s, moving with coordinated purpose. They weren't shopping. Their eyes tracked Vivian with predatory focus. Military precision, tactical boots, hand signals. The taller one adjusted his jacket. Utility knife. Then the shorter man turned, and Callum felt the floor drop away. Marcus Webb. 5 years ago, Marcus had been one of Callum's best students at Port Authority's security training program. Promising career. Used to show Callum photos of his son during lunch breaks. What the hell happened to you, Marcus? A Bluetooth earpiece in Marcus's ear crackled. Callum caught one word. Blake confirmed. Proceed. Blake, that name again. Daddy? Ren tugged his hand. Why are those men watching the sad lady? Callum's blood ran cold. Ren, baby, I need you to do something important. Can you be my brave girl? She nodded solemnly. Stay here with the cart. Count all the red things you can see. Don't move until I come back. What about our groceries? This is more important. Can you do this for me? I can count really high, Daddy. He kissed her forehead, positioned the cart near paper products for cover, then moved toward the wine section. The two men closed in on Vivian from opposite ends. Derek Sloan, the taller one, reached her first, pressed close. The utility knife came out. Don't make a sound. Walk with us toward the back exit. Marcus blocked her escape route. The champagne bottle in Vivian's hand slipped, shattered against the floor like a gunshot. Customers turned, saw the knife, saw the terror, and did nothing. Please, Vivian's voice cracked. Someone help me. Her eyes scanned the crowd, searching, hoping, and she saw exactly what she had done to others for years. People looked away. A woman laughed. A man shrugged. For the first time in her adult life, Vivian understood what it felt like to be invisible, to beg for help and receive only indifference. She had been that indifferent person. To Callum, to hundreds of employees. Then, through the crowd of averted eyes and cruel smiles, she saw him, the IT guy, the one she had dismissed 6 months ago without learning his name, the one she had called deliberately invisible. He wasn't looking away. He wasn't laughing. He wasn't pulling out his phone to record her humiliation. He was moving toward her, and the way he looked at her, not at her designer dress or CEO title or net worth, the way he looked at her like she was simply a human being who needed help. For the first time in her adult life, Vivian felt seen, not as a boss to be feared, not as a billionaire to be envied, just seen as a person by someone she had never bothered to see at all. The irony cut deeper than the knife at her ribs. That's when Ren's teddy bear rolled out of the cart and stopped at Derek's feet. He kicked it with unnecessary force. Keep your kids' junk out of the way. Ren's face crumpled. Not because of the toy, but because a bad man was mean to her daddy. That man was mean to you, Daddy. Her voice rang across the supermarket. The dynamic shifted. A mother pulled her children closer. An old man stepped forward. The crowd started paying attention, not to the CEO anymore, but to a family being threatened. Callum stepped out from behind the soda display. "You just picked the wrong father and daughter to threaten, gentlemen." Derek turned. "Back off, Dad. This doesn't concern you. When you threaten people in front of my daughter, it becomes my concern." Marcus's eyes widened. "Callum? Callum Mercer?" The recognition created a split-second hesitation. Seconds 1 through 8. Callum grabbed a soda bottle, shook it while unscrewing the cap. Pressurized liquid erupted, hitting Derek's face. Carbonated spray filled his eyes. Derek released Vivian, clawing at his face. Seconds 9 through 15. Callum's shopping cart became a weapon, striking Marcus's knife hand at the exact nerve cluster controlling grip strength. The knife clattered to the floor. "Get down!" Callum commanded. Vivian dropped immediately, hitting the floor among broken glass. Seconds 16 through 25. Derek stumbled toward paper towels. Callum grabbed a handful, wrapped them around Derek's wrists. Makeshift restraints. Seconds 26 through 35. Marcus lunged with a closed fist. Callum sidestepped, but his foot slipped and spilled soda. Marcus's punch connected with Callum's ribs. The pain was immediate, a reminder that 2 years of grief had taken their toll. Sleepless nights, skipped meals. He wasn't as fast or strong anymore. A second punch sent him into the wine display. Bottles crashed, glass everywhere. Doubt flooded through him. He might fail. Ren might watch her father be beaten. His hand found the red yarn bracelet. Red is for courage. You're never alone. Seconds 36 through 43. Callum fainted left, dropped low, swept Marcus's legs. Marcus fell hard. His head struck a shelf edge. Disoriented but not seriously hurt. A boot came down on Marcus's chest. Vincent Callahan, 62, retired Marine, stood over the fallen criminal. "Stay down, son. You've made enough bad choices today." Total elapsed time, 43 seconds. The store went silent. Then a small voice broke through. "Daddy, did you win?" Callum turned. Ren was peeking around the shopping cart. Blue eyes wide but trusting. "We all won, sweetheart. The bad men can't hurt anyone now." Police arrived within minutes. Callum showed officers his phone. Photos documenting suspicious behavior from 10 minutes earlier. Timestamps, images, coordination patterns. "You gathered evidence before the attack?" an officer asked. "Security training, old habits." As police led Marcus toward a patrol car, Callum heard him speak into a confiscated phone. "Tell Blake it failed. Tell him—" Vivian's face went pale. "Did you say Blake?" Marcus looked at her with strange eyes. "You really don't know, do you? Your own mentor." Officers pulled him away before he could finish. The video exploded across the internet within hours. Headlines multiplied. "Single dad saves CEO with soda bottles and paper towels." The IT guy she dismissed just saved her life. That little girl writing "Daddy is brave" destroyed me. Social media dug deeper. Former employees came forward. She treated people like furniture, and now the furniture saved her life. Callum's leaked security assessment surfaced online, warning about exactly the vulnerability that had been exploited. Vivian had rejected it without reading past the first page. The board delivered an ultimatum via speakerphone. Demonstrate meaningful change in your leadership approach by end of quarter, or step down as CEO. Vivian sat alone in her penthouse reading comments. She deserved it. Karma. Who would help someone like her? But someone had helped her. Her phone buzzed. Text from Harrison Blake, no, COO, her mentor since the beginning. "Don't worry, I'll handle everything. That's what family does." 6 months ago, those words would have brought comfort. Now, after hearing Marcus speak Blake's name, they sent a chill down her spine. 2 weeks later, gray interrogation room. Callum sat across from Marcus Webb. Why, Marcus? You had a family, a career. Marcus's eyes were hollow. Budget cuts killed my position. My son needed heart surgery. Insurance only covered part. We mortgaged everything. Then I lost my job. Who approached you? They knew everything. My financial situation, my son's medical records, like they had a playbook for turning desperate men into assets. Who's they? I only dealt with one man, voice on the phone, money in accounts. But I heard a name once, Blake. Callum's blood ran cold. Harrison Blake? Ashford's COO? The kidnapping wasn't random. It was business. Remove the CEO, seize control of patents worth billions. Marcus leaned forward. There's something else. 2 years ago, Blake hired my team for another job, made it look like a car accident. The world stopped. The target was a researcher at Ashford, a doctor. She found financial irregularities. Her name was Sarah Mercer. Callum couldn't breathe. You killed my wife. I didn't know she was your wife until I saw your face at Freshmart. The same man who tried to kidnap the CEO killed your wife 2 years ago. 2 years of blaming himself. 2 years of believing it was random tragedy. All along, it had been murder. Ordered by a man who called himself a mentor. Callum stood, chair clattered, fists clenched. For one terrible moment, he wanted to kill Marcus, but Wren's voice echoed in his memory. Red is for courage and love. Courage wasn't about violence. It was about choosing the harder right. I want Blake. Tell me everything. That night, Callum sat in darkness, Sarah's wedding photo in his hands. 2 years of grief took on new dimensions. Sadness layered with rage. The need for justice burning. A knock at the door. Vivian stood there. No CEO armor. Jeans, hoodie, red eyes. I know about Sarah. Miranda Chen found the connection. Blake has been stealing from the company for years. Your wife discovered it. And I trusted him. You didn't know. I should have. He was my mentor. He picked me out of nothing. She couldn't meet his eyes. You should hate me. Callum looked at her. Really looked. Not at the CEO. At the person. You're blaming yourself for trusting someone who pretended to care. That's not weakness. That's being human. Her eyes filled with tears. What do we do? We take him down. Together. He killed my wife. He tried to kidnap you. And he's going to pay for both. 3 weeks of investigation. Callum accepted a security consultant position. Covered to move through the company, access records, build a case. Miranda Chen proved invaluable. Together they traced financial patterns. Documented systematic theft. Sarah had noticed discrepancies in grant allocations. Had been building a case. Her car accident occurred 3 days before she was scheduled to present findings to the board. Brake lines cut. Police report filed by an officer with unexplained offshore deposits. Investigation closed within a week. Murder disguised as tragedy. One evening, Wren met Vivian for the first time. The little girl studied the CEO with unfiltered assessment. Are you the lady Daddy saved at the store? Yes. Are you learning to be nicer now? Vivian knelt to Wren's eye level. I'm trying very hard. Your daddy is teaching me. Wren nodded. Then, Miss Vivian, do you know why my red bracelet works? Tell me. Because Mommy always said, the people who hurt us don't get to decide who we become. We decide. And we can decide to be brave and nice at the same time. Vivian's tears fell. Your mommy was very wise. I know, that's why Daddy misses her. Wren paused. But I think she would want us to have a bigger family. More people to love. The shareholder meeting was scheduled for Thursday. Ashford Medical's annual gathering. Grand ballroom. Hundreds of investors. Media. Live streamed globally. Harrison Blake stood on stage. Silver hair perfect. Expensive suit tailored for success. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with mixed emotions that I announce, actually, Harrison, Vivian's voice cut through. I have an announcement of my own. She emerged from the wings, Callum beside her, Miranda Chen's security team sealing exits. The giant screen illuminated, financial records showing millions diverted, emails coordinating the kidnapping, messages linking Blake to Sarah's accident, Marcus Webb's video testimony. Blake's smile flickered. This is fabricated. I built this company. No. Vivian's voice was steel. You built your fortune on stolen money and murdered people. Sarah Mercer discovered your fraud, so you killed her. FBI agents moved through the crowd. Harrison Blake, you are under arrest for corporate fraud, conspiracy to commit kidnapping, and murder in the first degree. Handcuffs clicked. Callum stepped forward. Sarah Mercer. That was my wife's name. The woman you killed because she had integrity you couldn't buy. She's the reason you're going to prison. Not me. Her. Blake was led away through clicking cameras and the judgment of everyone who had trusted him. Derek Sloan had already been sentenced 3 months earlier. 15 years for armed kidnapping. He had offered no testimony against Blake, maintained silence even when prosecutors offered deals. Marcus Webb had cooperated fully, his sentence reduced to 7 years, parole possible in 4. He had written Callum a letter, 3 pages of apology that could never undo what he had done. Callum had read it once, then put it away. Forgiveness wasn't something he could offer yet, but he had stopped wishing Marcus dead, and that felt like progress. The applause started slowly, then thundered through the ballroom. Justice finally served. 1 week later, sunset painted Vivian's office in gold and amber. Callum entered, still wearing his suit from Blake's arraignment. It's over. He'll never hurt anyone again. Because of you. Because of Sarah. She built the case. Everything we did was finishing what she started. Silence stretched between them. I don't know how to do this, Vivian admitted. Relationships. Trust. I've spent my life building walls. I spent 2 years building my own. So what do? We take it one day at a time, and we let Ren decide if you pass the being nice test. Vivian laughed, genuine, unguarded. That's terrifying. She's brutal. The most brutal, but she likes you. She told me you have kind eyes when you're not being CEO face. CEO face? Her words. Their laughter mingled in the golden light. I don't know if I deserve this, Vivian said softly. A second chance. Callum took her hand. Neither did I. But someone made me a red bracelet and told me courage and love go together. I'm starting to believe she was right. The kiss was soft, real, earned. 1 year later, Fresh Mart supermarket, same location, same fluorescent lights. Callum pushed a shopping cart. Ren walked beside him now. 9 years old, too big for the cart. Vivian held Ren's other hand. The new shopping list, still in blue crayon. Milk, bread, flowers for Mom's picture, ice cream for family movie night. Mom, can we get the chocolate kind? Ren looked up at Vivian. Whatever you want, sweetheart. They walked past the wine aisle, the spot where everything changed. A store employee recognized Callum. Hey, you're the calm dad. Callum smiled. Just a dad buying groceries. With your family, Ren added proudly. We're a family now. Me, Daddy, and Mom Vivian. They stopped at the toy display, same teddy bears. Ren looked up at both adults. Daddy, remember when you were invisible? I remember. You're not invisible anymore. She squeezed both their hands. None of us are. On Callum's wrist, the red yarn bracelet caught the light. On Vivian's wrist, a new bracelet, purple yarn. Red is for courage, Ren had explained when she made it. Purple is for when someone new joins the family. Later that night, after Ren was asleep and Vivian had gone to check work emails, Callum stood alone on the small balcony of their new home. The stars were out. The same stars Sarah used to love watching. He touched the red yarn bracelet, spoke quietly to the night sky. 43 seconds changed everything. But what I've learned, what you taught me, what Ren reminds me every day, is that courage isn't about the big moments. It's not about the takedowns or the confrontations or the justice served. It's about the small ones. Choosing to be kind when you could be cold. Choosing to help when you could walk away. Choosing to love again when you're terrified of losing. You taught me that, Sarah, and I finally understand. Courage and love, they were never separate things. They were always the same thing, wrapped in red yarn, tied around my wrist by the wisest person I know. A small hand slipped into his. Ren, who should have been asleep, stood beside him in her pajamas. Talking to Mommy? Yeah, sweetheart. Telling her about our day. Tell her I said hi, and that I'm taking good care of you, just like I promised. Callum pulled his daughter close. The red bracelet caught the starlight, and somewhere, somehow, he knew Sarah was smiling. The family drove home together the next morning after staying at their old apartment one last time. Ren chattered about school from the back seat. Vivian responded with genuine interest, remembering details from previous conversations. Callum listened, his heart fuller than he had imagined possible. Sarah would have approved. He was certain. She would have approved of Vivian learning kindness, of Ren sharing her wisdom, of Callum finding courage to love again. Because Sarah had always believed in second chances, in redemption, in the fundamental human capacity for change. She had believed in all of that, and she had died fighting for truth. Now truth had won, and her family, expanded now, different now, but still hers, would carry her legacy forward into all the days to come. Vivian still ran Ashford Medical, still commanded boardrooms, but she had learned to see people now, really see them, to remember names, to ask questions and listen to answers. The company had changed under her new leadership. Employee satisfaction doubled. Innovation flourished. The diagnostic technology Sarah had helped develop was saving lives across the country. Sarah's name was on the patent. Callum had insisted. The board had agreed unanimously. Every device that detected early cancer markers carried a small inscription. In memory of Dr. Sarah Mercer, who gave everything for truth. Her legacy lived on. In technology, in justice, in a little girl who had taught her father to breathe again. Sometimes late at night, Callum would find Ren standing by the window, looking at the stars. Mommy's up there, right, Daddy? I like to think so. I think she can see us. I think she knows we're okay. What makes you think that? Ren would touch her own red bracelet, a matching one she had made for herself. Because the red string connects us. You, me, Mommy, and now Vivian too. We're all connected, even when we can't see each other. The wisdom of children, simple, profound, unshakable. Callum would pull her close, and they would watch the stars together. Father and daughter, survivors, family. The red yarn held them all together. 43 seconds changed everything, but it was all the seconds after, the daily choices, the small kindnesses, the difficult conversations, the gradual building of trust that had created something worth keeping. A single father who had learned to be seen again, a CEO who had learned to see others, a little girl who had taught them both what courage really meant, and somewhere in the starlight, a woman who had loved them all,